All right, so I built a control deck around April. Hacktivist draws a card on your instep for each card type amongst types you play this turn. So we've got artifacts with Mox Amber, instants, creatures, sorcery, planeswalker to try to draw somewhere in the realm of like 2 to 4 cards every single turn with April, which is a lot. That's definitely a lot. And we're playing a bit more of a tap out control shell with Wrath, Teferi, Tamiyo, Prismatic Ending with free spells to play on our opponent's turn, kind of like the Ring. Um, Now, game one, we're trying to win the game with Solitude, Subtlety. I did when I was looking at the matchup spread against decks like Tron and Titan. I felt like I was lacking a little bit of finishing power. So we have a couple wands to close games a little bit faster, which is not something I usually do. Maybe that's not the most important thing to know, but let's go. I talked about that in the video a little bit. Okay, turn 2 Teferi. Let's keep. Speaking of Tamiyo. We're on the draw against a Watery Grave. And then there's an April. I think what I might try to do here is play Teferi, Mox Amber, and Tamiyo all in one turn. At the very least, I'm not like the most interested here in... Oh, it's Living End. Well, this is about as big a punish as you can get, because this would have let me turn 2 Teferi on the draw against Living End. I guess we're kind of pivoted here, huh? Maybe the general plan here is kind of the same. It's an Overlord? Overlord, okay. The middle of Force of Negation and a Street Wraith, and an Otawara and an Overgrown Tomb. Street Wraith feels pretty free to grab for them. Takes that down to 4. So the Flooded Strand not only gives me... and I'm not going to play the Tamiyo here because of the possibility of Living End this turn. I also want to look like I have a Counterspell in my hand. But if they do go for Living End, I can try to surveil into a... I can try to surveil into a creature to put into play. Wistfulness here. And they discard a Living End. What's the best 1-mana card that lets you discard pre-combat turn 2? I'm not sure exactly what you're asking, but Faithless Looting, I'm sure, is in no ban list or ban list. It's the best 1-mana looter. Okay, an April in the yard is actually really sick for Living End. You drew a second Mox Amber. So easy mode is this resolves. They cycle a Wraith in response. I guess you meant 1 mana permanent to play on turn 1. Oh, so you're asking for a 1 mana permanent that lets you discard a card? It's a pretty small... I can't even really think of almost anything that even applies to. It's like Insolent Neonates. Yeah, I guess it's Cookbook, but yeah, I mean, there's just not almost no cards let you do that. All right, let's cast the Teferi again. Yeah, Grand. They have another Force of Negation, or the first Force of Negation. They have a Flare of Denial. Okay, so I'm out of. Well, I guess I have 3 more Teferis in the deck, but no longer a Teferi in the hand. Now they didn't Living in this turn for whatever that's worth. So I get to go... I can go Tamiyo, Mox, April, draw 2, flip Tamiyo, instep. Seems fine. And then this also gives me 2 looks at a Force of Negation. Endurance? Maybe they mistapped here. No, they're just playing Endurance in response. Okay. So my April blocks the Endurance here. I don't know if they're just setting up for a top deck. I do think if they had a Living End either of the last 2 turns, they would have used it. Flipping Tamiyo end of turn, always a little weird. If they do have a Shardless Agent, I'm sorry, not a Living End, a Shardless Agent, then we'll lose the game here. Their Overlord is also flipping. I mean, I'm gonna block. A second main phase Shardless Agent would be good for them. Don't know if they have one. That seems like they do not, thankfully. Let's go ahead. Oh, maybe I guess I can try to use the Mox Amber on green to Prismatic Ending the Endurance. So let's go green, and then I'm gonna play another Mox Amber here. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should just hardcast this Solitude. Although, if I hardcast Solitude, I get Subtlety really hard here. Yeah, I think, okay, instead of doing that, sorry, I'm going to go back to plan 1 here, which is Prismatic Ending the Endurance. So I'll be drawing 3 cards on my instep. I could play Tamiyo to draw a 4th card, but then I lose this Tamiyo. And I also wouldn't be able to draw a counterspell. They started to pay cost here, so I guess it would be kind of annoying if they had like an Otawara or a Sync for April here. Okay, we get the trigger. April's draw count is about to be 6. They are doing something in my instep, and I guess another copy of Endurance. Okay, so let's see if we draw a white card for Solitude. We do not. We can block the Overlord with April because of the Tamiyo +1, but if they mill over a Shardless Agent, we're probably cooked. Although I guess we do have the ability to top deck a Wrath Disguise at this point in the game. They do find the Shardless Agent, unfortunately. And it's actually really bad that my April can't chump block the Overlord now. That would kind of solve our problems. Could have minus the Tamiyo to get the ending. No, Tamiyo had flipped on my instep, so I could not minus it that turn. I had to plus it. If I draw Wrath, I can Wrath for 6. Clear the board. So I guess we're going to take 1 draw step there. This is our first time playing April. She drew us 6 cards over the course of 2 turns. Not too bad. Although we didn't find Force of Negation or Teferi or what we were looking for. I guess I'm going to cast a Teferi. I don't know that how many outs or whatever this will give us, but I'll cast it. And then we'll bounce an Int. To another Teferi. So maybe Tamiyo plus a Solitude lets me live here. Plus with like the Tamiyo plus. We'll play it out. Like we have 3 Wraths in the main deck to draw into. They're gonna spend some time sacking some food. I've been playing Modern quite a while. Living In was my deck. Is it back? It's back. Living In, I think, is a good choice in Modern right now. Wistfulness. I think Deceit's good too, although I don't see a lot of people playing Deceit. I think it's well positioned. It's one of the few decks that's like very good against like Titan and Boros, but it is pretty bad against the Eldrazi decks. And when we played it recently, we only played against the Eldrazi decks. Deceit seems better sideboard. I feel like it's just kind of generically good, but I could see it going either way. So I imagine they're going to send everything at me. So this will be 1, 5, 7, 9, 13, 15. So I guess we're just going to Solitude the Wistfulness and block the Street Wraith. Down to 3. What are they going to tutor with this? Wistfulness, maybe? We have 3 Wrath Disguise, which can clear the board here because we have 2 energy, but we have to draw 1. Yeah, they do grab a copy of Deceit, and then they don't use it this turn, which I think makes some sense. We do draw the Wrath Disguise. I guess now we're just gonna win pretty pretty handily. Um, I will upkeep the Wrath the Sky. I'll just whatever. I'll just main phase. It's not going to be any different. They're just going to go to their combat step. Let's not toy around so much. Okay, I did make a mistake here. I should have responded to the Tamiyo attack trigger. Responding to the Tamiyo attack trigger there was the move. And they get their food value. So they discarded the int that we bounced earlier, but it kind of seems like I'm just going to go evoke Subtlety, then ultimate the Tamiyo. Control typically pretty good against Living End. Although I guess if I Subtlety the Deceit, they can just Deceit the Tamiyo again next turn, can't they? Stopping me from ultimating. Yeah, we're going to, but this is a. I guess I should probably be minusing on Wrath for next turn or something. Is April a May? It's not, but I mean, I don't know how often you don't want to draw a bunch of cards in your turn. It's like Bowmaster, Shieldred kind of stuff. What do you think about a retrospect on my Besiege Airship deck? My local meta is only fair blue decks and Tron. I'm not sure. I mean, it's very good against fair blue decks, which is part of the reason why it was performing so well at first. And then the meta shifted, and I don't think it's nearly as well positioned as it was. I don't think it's like particular. Oh, now we get to draw two. I'm gonna go ahead, I think, and grab that Wrath Disguise. Maybe it would be better to grab Tune the Narrative for the April, because it's like just a easier draw too. Maybe it would have been better to plus the Tamiyo, I don't know. We're learning. April's been looking pretty good so far. It's only our first game. I think Airship is still like, if I was gonna play a Soul Trader deck, or if I was gonna play like if I was gonna play the Yawgmoth deck, like I would certainly consider main decking the airships. If or I guess the Yawgmoth deck was really built around like turn twoing them. I don't know that that's how I build Yawgmoth exactly, but in Soul Trader I would probably still be main decking them just because you can play them turn two and they're insane when on turn two. Okay, so the Tamiyo getting bounced back to my hand means I get to draw at least one card here. So I don't think that I want to cash in the Wrath and clear the board just yet. Just going to plan to chump block here. And then see and try to surveil into something end of turn. Not a very helpful card, so we'll say no to that. So another Teferi is kind of interesting. We can also bounce the Deceit next turn, although that ends up being weird as well. Tiger Style with the Twitch Prime, appreciate you. They got another big thing. The main phase of Subtlety. I guess one thing I could do is I could go to my instep, put this trigger on the stack, then cast Wrath Disguise, and I still get to draw a card. Maybe that's good. I think that's probably the play here. Oh my gosh, I just noticed I'm at 2. I just remembered I'm at 2 life. Can be at 1. Okay, so with this trigger on the stack, I'm gonna just All right, that is Magic Online's fault, not mine. I clicked yield to all. Oh, damn it. I feel like that's when the yield to all versus okay gets me, is these kind of spots. All right, -1 card. Don't blame April, blame me. She did nothing wrong. It was such a cool play too. Put the trigger on the stack, then Wrath. All right, it's the beginning of combat step. I'm gonna have to untap all this. They've used 13 minutes of their clock. It's still game 1. With no end in sight either. They impending this Overlord instead of hard casting it. They almost definitely are going to want to return an endurance, I would think, because they might be at risk of decking. Instead, they do choose to go for a copy of Deceit. They're 1 mana short right now of hard casting, and they don't have a land to play either. I can Wrath the Skies for 6, so counting the 1 energy in my pool. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do that in response to the Deceit trigger. Did I play the sewer deck? I went away. I went away during rats and came back. Yeah, this is our 6th match of the day. We're 2 hours in. I say this every set release, and I wish I could go faster. I don't. Is it faster to test new sets on Arena? It probably is, because I feel like games are generally faster, and you can play like, it's easier to play like 3 matches in Switch than like 5. But it's like, maybe should take down Tef, but then they just take the Wrath with the Deceit. So I don't know. It just takes a long time to test these decks. I don't know if other people get to it faster than me somehow, but I'm going as fast as I can. But if I'm just saying, if you left like an hour ago between rats and we're playing a new deck, we didn't just play a whole other league between rounds. Yeah, no worries, of course. I'm just wondering if other people are faster. Right, they got 3 cards in their hand. How many Aprils do I have left? I've got 2 Aprils left. Love to draw a Solitude here. I'm gonna plus the Teferi so I can bounce the Solitude, assuming that this resolves. It could get Force of Negation, get Subtletied. So I mean, I guess they could have another Living End. I think they have 1 Living End left in their deck. What did they pitch? They pitched a Shardless Agent, so they would have to have another Shardless Agent. How did routes go? We went 3-2. It was kind of a weird league where we beat Boros. The matchup against Boros looked good. We lost to Creativity. Then we beat Storm twice. Then we lost to Creativity again. It was very, very odd league. Okay, so they can pick up. Let's see if they milled the last Living End. Doesn't look like they did. The last Living End could also be in their hand. They returned to Subtlety. Yeah, it seems like maybe that's in their hand. So I'm going to play Teferi, or if I play Teferi, they're going to Subtlety it. Am I okay with that outcome? Yeah, I guess so. To be fair, I've missed decks. We hit him, try to. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's totally fair. That could definitely happen. Yeah, we played 2.5 streams of No Banless Modern. I really, really liked it. I feel like they were some of the best streams we've had lately. I was wrong about the seat. It looks really good. I agree. I think it's just, at the very least, as a formidable speaker tutor target, I think I would recommend playing it. So my opponent's got 14 cards left in their deck. They do have endurances in the yard, so if they can get another Overlord trigger, they can get that back. Their last card in hand is almost definitely Living End, because they chose not to Living End last turn. So until they endurance me, we're also safe from a Living End. Or sorry, until they endurance themselves. Maybe this is a Wistfulness here. Looks like it. I kind of imagine we're going to see them loot away a Living End. No, they discard an Int. Are they only playing 2 Living Ends, maybe? Okay, then there's another Overlord, which now they could have Living End and then they just did not. So I don't know what the hell's going on. They grab Curator of Mysteries to their hand instead of an Endurance or a Shardless Agent, or an Endurance, which is really the one. I don't know what the hell that's about. I'm gonna play Teferi. They have a blue card. Okay, they force. So that's what that's about. And now I have to chump block Wistfulness here. They have 5 or 6 cards in their deck now, 1 card in their hand. We chump block, go to 4. Have a good number of outs, not that many. Especially if they play another big blue creature here. Yeah, sometimes they play Halo Forager, especially because you can loot away Living End with Wistfulness. We are dead, though, on turn 16. Now, they have 8 minutes for games 2 and 3, so they really try to incentivize to try to win this one. We've got some good sideboard cards, too. I'm going to cut all of my Prismatic Endings. I don't know about the Wrath the Skies. Maybe I could play some still. Sideboard is pretty weird. I'm going to bring in Dispute. I'm going to bring in Subtlety. I'm going to bring in Force. I'm going to bring in Counterspell. I don't know if I want the Wands or not. Obviously, I want the Rest in Peace. I guess we're going to cut the Tune Wrath package altogether and say if you resolve a Living End, that's fine, but it's going to be very, very difficult for you to resolve Living End. I think I want the Wands. I want them. Maybe this is too many Consigns. I mean, Consign's very good against them. But if I have Rest in Peace and I have Force of Negation and I have Teferi, am I just putting myself too weak to their hardcast big stuff? Consign also can hit like Subtlety, ETB. They have a lot of... Yeah, I'm going to have to play all the Consigns. Maybe I could play one less Force of Negation. Oh, the Force plus Tamiyo early is really nice. We'll play one less Amber, I think. Yeah, we'll just play 3 Consigns. You definitely could just be staring at a lot of Consigns. These games are really, honestly, more about hardcasting big stuff, I think. Okay, a weird hand. Let's keep... Double Amber, is, like the second Amber is kind of like a mulligan, but this is a good 6-card hand if you think of it. No, there should be 2 subtleties. There should be 4 subtleties. They're just like weirdly spread out. There should be 4. No, I didn't end up getting to play any Supreme Cube. Okay, I unfortunately have to graveyard that. I did want to play Supreme Cube though. So they graveyard a Living End. I guess I'll hold up Otawara. Would I counterspell a Deceit here? I guess I would. Would I counterspell a Wistfulness? Probably not. Would I counterspell this Overlord? Alright, this goes bad if they have Shardless Agent, Force or Subtlety blue card, land, and I don't draw a blue card here, but I did draw the blue card. Nice. So I'm gonna plus here so that I can use the minus as a ritual with the Mox Amber to draw at least 1 extra card off the April. Oh no, you have to play 4 Subtlety against them. Subtlety is like your best card. It like stops their subtleties on your Teferis, and then it just also like this matchup is really again about them casting 3 to 6 mana creatures, and Subtlety is so good against that. So maybe this is gonna be a Formidable Speaker. Maybe it'll be a Deceit. Maybe they're gonna get the seat with Formidable Speaker. They discard a Hedge Maze. Do Overlords trigger up the Beanstalk when you impending cost them? I'm pretty sure they do. They grab a Halo Forger. Does that work against Teferi? I don't know. Alright, so I only get to draw 2 with April, though. It's pretty good for a 4 mana 1/4. That's going to keep drawing every turn. Yeah, I didn't think it did. Maybe they think it works? I guess we'll just see if they get to put the thing on the stack. I might end up main phasing Subtlety, so I have a blocker for Halo Forger, and it would also, of course, let me draw an extra card off April. Yeah, that's true. It can just attack here. It just seems like they thought it could do this, but it doesn't work. Is it just you or the games that no banlist feel faster? They were definitely faster. I don't know how. I think some of that is probably that the players who are playing are all like really enfranchised. Although that's every player on Magic Online, so I don't know. I'll say April's been good so far. She's drawn 2 or 3 cards every single turn, including the turn we've played her every single time. I think like 5 for 5 to draw 2 or 3. I don't think we've drawn 4 yet. I guess I'll surveil. Maybe finding a consign and being able to cast it's a little bit better. I mean, that's just kind of like a free draws for free with the April next turn. She drew. Oh, that's true. She did draw 0 cards one turn, but she should have drawn off the Wrath. You can't blame April for that. All right, so we go to game 3 with them having 5 minutes on the clock and them playing pretty slowly. It seems like they've got some like connection issues, and they don't feel like, I guess they don't feel confident they can finish the match, and they concede. All right, 1-0, long match. So we have Wrath tune the narrative. All right, let's ball game. Maybe if this was a blue-white land, I could talk myself into that one. All right, my opponent's thinking on their 7 here. They keep the 7. Gonna surveil here. Well, we gotta tune the narrative to combo with that, so let's keep. Have I thought about Yorion Beans and no banless? I think we played Cascade Beans. It didn't go super well. I don't know that Yorion Beans is better because you just have a lower density of banned cards. Okay, they're playing Red Green Eldrazi. Your density of banned cards is lower, which I don't really like very much. Okay, it has Sire, a Rumble, and Arena. I think game 1 against Eldrazi is very tough. It's probably just a bad matchup overall. Yeah, I do think Surveillance is going to play pretty similarly to Breach combo. So if they have Arena of Glory, they're playing Ilharg plus Formidable Speaker, which I guess bodes well for my subtleties. They do choose a Sire. A second Tune the Narrative at some point would be really nice for Wrath the Skies to get some big stuff. What's the best card we could see here? Teferi would be kind of nice, although not that good. But Yorin was good before, and it always dilutes your deck. Well, I don't know. It feels a little reductive, but in no bandless modern you get to play banned cards, and you just want to see. And so far, my experience in the format is seeing a higher concentration of them as often as possible. And so far, it also seems like my experience with the format is that the format is so fast that companions are like much less relevant than they are in bandless modern. So Yorion's it could be the right way to build the deck, because like one thing that's kind of cool about it is you just don't deck yourself. You just don't deck yourself. So they can K command my April if I draw a land, which I don't love. I do like drawing this Tune the Narrative, so the Wrath is pretty live. All right, I think we're just going to let them K command if they have it. And then they don't do anything. If they cast Sire, I'm not going to Subtlety. Yeah, it's probably gonna get me here. Just not gonna not be able to April. I think I'm just gonna go to game 2. Don't need to drag this out. Less density, Uro, Shaman free once upon a time. So you're not thinking about playing Cascade Beans. Yeah, I don't know. It's you definitely could build the deck that way. I really don't know what's right. All right, so we need the wands also. And I'm not really so sure about the... I Tune Wrath can be very good against them. It's probably just actually what we're boarding out of, though. Probably a little too narrow. Could play one Rest in Peace. Probably not all that good. Force of Negation is also not all that good. Subtlety's a lot better against this version, though. I think I'm going to play the 4th Subtlety. How do you feel about Ashiok against green-red? I think it's kind of okay. It's like, I think it's a lot more interesting now that they started to play Formidable Speaker. Let's just try a copy on the play, especially because we could turn 2 it off Tamiyo. Yeah, I feel like I don't usually bring it in, but I think I'm going to try it. I think 3 Force of Negation is an okay number. It's not amazing against them. Okay, on to play. think we keep our 7. I don't love it, but I do. I think we keep it. And we hope that they have Utopia Sprawl / Talisman, right? Instead of Counterspell, would you rather have a Remand type effect or an O-Ring type effect? So I'll say this, that like when you know what just name a card. You know what I mean? Remand or Reprieve. Like Oblivion Ring's not playable, so you're not talking about Oblivion Ring. You're talking about Leyline Binding. I did think Leyline Binding was interesting to get another type with April. Possibly we want to play Leyline Binding. Although I felt like I wanted to lean more into Toon Wrath because it felt like it played better with the tap out style of control, and it's also Wrath of Skies, and the card's really broken, and to some extent you just don't need to overthink it that so much. Reband's also just kind of pretty unplayable. I think if you're thinking that remanding your own stuff is interesting, I'm not really of the opinion it's that interesting. These boxes are brutal with no Tamiyo. Anxiety Sport's an option. I don't think it is. I don't think the card is really playable. I know we talked about it some, but I didn't exactly feel like I ever wanted to put it in a deck after thinking about it some. All right, let's keep it moving. Do I think I can draw Wrath of Skies is what I'm asking if I keep this hand. I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, I've drawn the Wrath of Skies. I only have a 1-lander, but I feel better about this hand. We are up against Domain Zoo. Yeah, the Mox Ambers have been killing us. It's definitely the kind of card I think is good to experiment with. I'm not sure how important they are to April, but it's the kind of card I think you want to start off playing with April to maybe pull back from if you feel like she'd be good without it. Maybe move into like binding instead of binding instead. So they have the Scion of Draco, which is good. I don't think Gran is playable just as like 1-mana legend with like no looting synergies, but it's like it's possible you could do something along those lines in a different build. I mean, I don't think I want to play the Tamiyo into the Wrath, although we can't quite get the Leyline next turn. Then they're gonna have 2 Scions. Seems like, as with most cards that stick around in Modern, April doesn't need a ton of help or builder on to be good. I hope that's the case. It's for me. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but all right, let's I guess go to game 2 since after we Wrath we won't have a white card. But we'll see. I think that the first match we played with April was really promising, and we'll see if she continues to be good. I'm going to cut my Force of Negations. I'm going to, I think, bring in the 4th Wrath Disguise. Our Teferis are also pretty good against the bindings. Just something I was thinking when I was building this deck. I don't really like Recipes so much against them because they've got Doorkeeper Thrill and then sometimes Consign to scam the Flages. I think you mostly just try to exile the Flage. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go down to 2 Ambers. Yeah, we're also playing less lands because of the Mox Amber count. One thing that is nice about Mox Amber is you just get to play April earlier too. I was kind of thinking about being Bant with Explore. And then like Explore is also going to be like a sorcery for your turns, but I'm also kind of just Explore pilled after the Coffers deck. Right. Opponent does have another Leyline, although we have a Teferi in this hand, thankfully. If they tap out for Scion on turn 2, then we can Teferi bounce the Leyline. Let's say no to a Tamiyo. Wait, is April a wizard? Scientist. A wizard by a different name. Maybe not enough legends for Mox. Maybe. We have 12, which is like a lot for 4 at Mox, but yeah, I don't know. I just kind of felt like jamming with April to see how good it is. I do maybe you would play just like 1 Mox Amber. So am I gonna chump block the Scion? I don't know. Probably not. It's a cool creature type with relevance to Magic's history. Is it, or just dunking? I'm like, you have to be curious, like, what's the relevance of the science creature type? But I feel like you're just being sarcastic. Did you have any ideas of combining April with kindred sorceries or artifact enchantment creatures? Well, I thought about with K command as far as like artifact / enchantment creatures. They're not really a ton that came to mind. I guess you could play an Overlord. I guess Overlord April something. Goblin Tarfire. Yeah, I mean you could play Tarfire, but that card's just not all that good. Is one issue with it. All right, let's hope to draw an untapped blue source, I guess. Although I guess we can just do that next turn now. Although maybe they don't have a black source for the Scion. Weird game. They do have a Leyline in their hand. They have a Scion, and they've got 4 other cards. So they could take a turn off the Leyline. What, Crib Swap? I mean, I'm just not looking to play like unplayable cards to make April a little bit better, especially because she seems already pretty good. So they're hasting something. They can't Scion off of this because they don't have 5 domain. Real question, is April really better than Jace the Mind Sculptor? Yeah, I think she is. I think she's like even a lot better than Jace the Mind Sculptor, although I think she's a good card to compare it to. So like April comes down and draws 1, sometimes 2 cards if you're lucky. Jace comes down, draws 1. It's a Brainstorm, which is different. So maybe you give a slight edge to Jace the turn it comes down. But then it's like April the turn after is going to draw 2 to 3 cards at like really consistently every single turn, which is outpaces Jace. But April's also just more resilient. April just doesn't get attacked to die, and April has 5 toughness and doesn't die to Flage and doesn't die to Bolt, and actually like defends you better. So I do think that is like maybe the biggest part of April being better. So their hand is Leylines. Oh, they discarded the Leylines, so Scion 2 mystery cards. So we can just Prismatic Ending the Kavu and then Counterspell the Flage, but then the problem is the Flage is just like still there, still scary. Canonically, why does she have so much toughness? You got to be tough to be a hacktivist. Like to be quite honest, April's just like much better than almost every like 4-mana card advantage creature ever. She just draws so many cards. It is so tough. Maybe I should have countered that because if they did escape the Flage, it wasn't with haste. They flip over a plains. All right, so I think we just circle back to the Prismatic Ending Counterspell play. Maybe I want to Wrath. Yeah, if I Wrath, I'd make it a lot harder for them to Ragavan plus Flage. All right, they tapped the arena again, so I'm going to Counterspell this time. Again, I think I should have done this last turn. Now, they do have the red source, so they can escape the Flage. We 3-2 the Super Shredder list. We lost to Creativity twice, which seemed like a pretty bad matchup. So if we draw a fetch land, we can get our Steam Vince to Prismatic Ending for 3. We lost to Creativity twice, which seemed like a bad matchup, but Super Shredder seemed very good. I was really impressed by it. I would definitely play it in a few like other shells. Rock King was fine. A little less good than I thought. Bro Meister the Twitch Prime, appreciate you. All right, so I guess we go April, Amber, draw 2, and then we can hope to draw a Solitude, and if not, we can chump take 3. Oh no, sorry, I should have Solituded my end step here. So I've opened myself up to Consign. We'll see if they have it. Was the normal creativity of new cards? We didn't see the new cards, but there is a turtle that's pretty good. Oh, I guess okay, they just have a ley line, but maybe this was bad too because they could have exerted arena. Now we're not going to get to draw any cards with April this turn. I guess I'm going to leave April back to block because of Ragavan. But yeah, I do think that the green red turtle is good in creativity. I will probably play it, although it's pretty boring. But the thing is, I do think people kind of want to see creativity anyways. You know what I mean? All right, a lot of good cards on top here. That's not one of them. Not ideal. I do think you just cast the Subtlety. This is definitely a spot where, I mean, like, the turn we played April, she was better than Jace would have been. For whatever that's worth, these last two turns, Jace would have been better. Do you think 1 or 2 April would be nice on typical blue-white chant, maybe instead of Consult? Possibly. Back up April. This April card seems bad. Okay, thank you for your feedback. It was like, I feel like the April was our. Did you watch the turn we played it? I guess is my one question for you, but thank you for your feedback. Because it came down and drew us the Solitude and stabilized. And my nemesis. We are dead to Flage because they could just escape it again. Oh, they just concede. Okay, so go to game 3. Yeah, I'm still forming my opinion too. I think she was very good round 1. Then we played like a pretty close to unwinnable matchup in Green Red Eldrazi, and now we're going to game 3 against Domain Zoo. I think I'll play one more Consign on the draw. What's a creativity game from the new set? There's a turtle. It's a 7 mana, 6/6 trample haste. When it attacks, you reveal cards from the top of your library. So you reveal a creature you put into play tapped and attacking. I think you should play one copy of that in creativity. It's just like a little bit. It's pretty powerful to hit because it's like you get to attack with that and Archon, and you're attacking for like 16 plus the trigger. So you could just kill them outright, and you still get the Archon trigger. And if your opponent had creature removal, they would have killed your dwarf instead. Although when it comes to stuff like targeting tokens, sometimes it'll unlock like a Solitude, which is a downside. Pretty likely to Subtlety evoke Tune. So I think I want to be able to surveil this turn. Shardless Ritual April would be cool. Yeah. The problem with Ritual is that she triggers on instep. It wouldn't work. Will I try April with double trigger? Yeah, April with Carol was something I was thinking about. All right, so if I see Prismatic Ending, maybe Wrath. Too many legend, the endless Wrath and etc. pairings make it possible to remember the cards. I agree completely. It's like the most annoying thing about these sets. And it's really unnecessary too. Like I do think that most of these worlds, although I don't know about turtles, but most of these worlds I think have the depth to like show pieces of the world and like character moments and fun moments rather than just lazily printing so many versions of the same characters. Maybe on 2, obviously F6. All right, come on, Wrath the Skies. Avatar team to do slightly better at differentiate cards. It definitely did better than Turtles, but I think it was still pretty bad. They are 4/4s over there. We could draw a white card. I'm gonna keep the April. I really liked Avatar as a set overall. I thought the set was great. But it still was like too many cards. Like there's like 5 cards with Aang in the name. Okay, interesting draw. They've addressed that. Basically, they found that people don't really recognize a lot of the characters beyond the biggest ones for the IPs like Turtle. I think that is dumb. Still, I like I don't even know how important it is to recognize something. Like you're making the art. You're having, your audience take a look at it and digest it. You're the one who gets to showcase, in theory, how cool the world is, and you get to showcase the characters and the flavor. And it's kind of your job as the artist, or in this case, the game designer, to make it appealing and interesting. And I think you're not doing that by having like 4 cards with the same character in it. All right, there's another April. Let's hope they don't have another stub. They have Ferocious, so it's not like playing this matters. Nice. Yeah, exactly. It's like when you make a new character for Magic the Gathering, that character is also not recognizable, but you can make them interesting. In the same way, you could make an unrecognizable character from Turtles interesting, I think. So I could evoke Subtlety to block the Doorkeeper here. My opponent's got 1 card in their hand. I also lose my April, and if they have a Bolt or a Binding as their last card, I get really, really blown out. But I think unlocking the Solitude feels really important here. I like that they got the Godless Shrine so that they can cycle a Triumph later on, because we are definitely at that point in the game. So we're both top decking. They've got a Doorkeeper Throw, which is locking off my Solitude kind of well. I found a Teferi. What would I like to do with the Teferi? I could bounce the Binding, and then I could have a Subtlety in play. And then they'd have a Binding in their hand. Let's bounce the Doorkeeper. Okay, great draw. Nice that their counterspells are dead top decks. Despite being too many cards of the same character, it did show character development. Yeah, I do agree that the character development angle of the Avatar cards was like a good reason to do it. But I think I still would have just really preferred that they like maybe 2 cards of the same character. But for me, that's like my hard limit. Okay, so we'll play the Teferi to force the Doorkeeper issue. Then we'll Prismatic Ending the Thrall. And do I plus the Teferi? I think I'm gonna bounce the Binding. It's like a little weird, but they're gonna Binding the Subtlety again, so it taxes that mana, and then I think I just want them to kill the Teferi instead of hitting me. Maybe I'm wrong about that. That's where my mind went though. Yeah, I need Treasure Cruise. Yeah, I think they might do a Korra Universe Beyond set, which would be cool, I think. Like the encourage. Yeah, that's good. I think overall, I'm very positive on the Avatar set, and like the one thing I didn't like about it was the all the cards with the same character names. And honestly, I feel like this is something for me that's like pretty easy to have. Like, I've got this one critique, and I can overlook it because overall things are really good. Oh, they just don't Ragavan. Okay. How telegraphed was the Solitude? Maybe it was super telegraphed. Would I consult on Korra set? I mean, my general philosophy, and not that I've been asked since MH3, which I did not consult on. But is if I have to go in person, I'm not that interested in consulting. And if I do it online, I'm pretty interested. But also, my game design stuff is also ramping up, and I do have I have commitments there that are eating a lot of my time. That I don't, balancing the stream and consulting, and that would be not the easiest. I could do it though. Yeah, for Elden Ring, I would consult in person. Although maybe not. Like it's really just when you're consulting, it's just like you're literally looking at an Excel spreadsheet of all the card text names. It's like it's not very glamorous. It was really weird, like just seeing the Excel spreadsheet for the first time. Like reading a Magic card, not on a Magic card, was it was weirder than I thought it would be. I'm gonna graveyard this. So I think it would have been fine to keep. I am actually pretty interested in like Otawaring the Subtlety in response to a creature spell being cast, or sorry, Otawaring the Binding. Do they give you entire list of cards? Yeah, I guess it should be fine to say that. Yeah, they give you like the current set file, and you go through it and you try to say what you like, what you dislike, what you think is unbalanced, what you think could be better if it were rebalanced. All right, I'm gonna go. The thing is, I guess maybe they just drew another Ragavan. Opponent's been playing very disciplined with this Ragavan, but I really want to get this down. So they don't have a Doorkeeper Thrall, thankfully. Flage, maybe? Okay, so let's consign probably the deal 3 damage trigger. I think that targeting the evoke trigger might be a misplay. And then I can Otawara the Leyline Binding when they go for the escape. How many Aprils do I have left? I only have 2 Aprils left. We'll get to cash in the Amber when that happens, I guess. What's nice is that this goes to the top or the bottom, so they're not going to be able to escape next turn. But they will be able to kill one of my creatures next turn. They also have a Binding in their hand now. So we will be able to put them to like 5 life, but beyond that, we need to top deck a Teferi or an April or a Subtlety sooner rather than later. They do put the Flage on top, to nobody's surprise. Oh, they have the... Sorry, I forgot they have Leyline in place, so they can just Binding now. Although if they Binding now, it's kind of nice, so it makes April a good top deck. Otherwise, not as good. Yeah, Counterspell would be good too. Would it have been better to Otawara my own Solitude response to Flage GTB? I don't think so, but I mean, it might have been. I think I'd like this play instead. So they're playing around me top decking April, which is really nice. Oh, sorry, I meant to play the Flood Strand. But it's nice that I can maybe have gained enough life so when they escape the Flage, I can Prismatic Ending it. All right, so they're at 8, I'm at 12. They have a Binding. They have 2 other cards in their hand. They're paying costs. They dash a Ragavan. It's annoying. Flip over a copy of Solitude. Would have been a great card for me to draw for turn. Good job, Ragavan. Tune in. I guess we leave the Subtlety back. Why is Uro banned but Flage free? Well, to some extent, the real question you should be asking is, why did Wizards of the Coast design an Escape Titan when Uro was so clearly like a big design mistake? That's like the real question to ask. But as far as why is this legal, and I mean, Uro is better than Flage still. Like you can go turn 2 Uro, consign the Uro trigger, scam it into play. It's like would be really gross with Rumble. Flage better with Arena. Wait, where is? Oh, I surveilled by Steam vents in the yard. I totally didn't realize that. That's it's a bit of a disaster, isn't it? So I guess we could maybe set up to Wrath Disguise the Scion of Draco by sandbagging some energy here. I guess we just do X3 here so that we can try to get enough to kill the Scion. Maybe that doesn't make sense. Hold on. I should have counted already. Yeah, I guess we're actually short. All right, yeah, I guess we're pretty dead. I should have killed the Leyline. I don't know why. I thought I had like a good bit more energy post this than I ended up having. All right, we'll probably do a rebuild. I think April did look pretty good enough to rebuild. I think the way our like I think the Mox Amber is kind of sucked, which is I think it's good to do this kind of stuff, like see how Mox Amber plays with April. It seems like April is probably or has a good chance to be good enough without the Ambers. I don't know exactly how I build it. I do think Explore is pretty interesting, so you have access to faster Aprils. I think also just top decking a proactive sorcery for April. I think that could be kind of interesting. Leyline Binding also might be good in the Explore version to get the enchantment type. So keep an eye out for that. I think promising enough. Let's I don't know that I have the brain power for this. Yeah, I'm really Explore pilled lately. Okay, let's save the Sewer Valence Cam. Let's play the Casey Jones Rakdos.